Hello everyone and welcome to Nerd Goblin Art. I'm Lula. Let's Resin very kindly sent me their new coloured UV resin Keyring Starter kit. So let's have a little look-see. This is a funky tool by the looks of it. It's I'm going to cut it out of there because I'm curious to see. Oh, it's floppy. So it's like a silicone tool, very floppy silicone tool, and there's a bunch of molds as well. So obviously it's in the title, they're keyring molds, but they're really cool. Lots of different shape ones. I do particularly like the bone shaped one because you could do like a keyring, or you could even put it on a collar maybe, you know, you never know. And these are for opening the bottles, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Very yin and yang, aren't they? And we've also got these open bales, which are cool. They're gold. I'm not a fan of gold, but they are chunky. I tell you what, they are weighty. The quality on these is very nice. And a bunch of flowers. Excuse my camera. So we've got a bunch of hearts and all these lovely flowers. Aren't they? Aren't they lovely? Very, very heavy. I'm not kidding, they're heavy. You also get some jump hoops and your key rings, which is awesome. And also a pair of tweezers, a nice bunch of gloves there, and some UV tape. Obviously, the difference with the tape is it doesn't burn so easily and it's more heat resistant. And also this really super cute little UV light. Isn't it sweet? I really like that. It's always worth as well checking the instructions regardless if you've been at this for a while. But it's a really lovely cute little light. It comes with the USB cord and I have to be fair, for once it is a pretty long wire. So that's impressive. So it's important to note that this isn't a rechargeable one. It does need to be plugged. Look at its little legs. It looks like a little alien. It reminds me of one of those aliens from Batteries Not Included. And we've also got a bunch of the dark type UV coloured resin. There's green, red, white, orange, blue, yellow, royal blue. Did I say red already? There's pink, purple, orchid, black, and brown. Oh my goodness, that is a lot, isn't it? That is a lot in a kit. And I think that's pretty awesome for a first time, resin, if you're just getting into it. So I've already got all my other bottles ready. So I'm just going to show you because this is actually a cool little tool. It's like a bird's beak, isn't it? So it's as simple as that. You know, it could be like me. I just usually take the lid off and stab it in. But yeah, there we are. So let's have a play. And boing. We're going to have a little play. And we're just going to test out. We won't do every single one of them on this make, because I can do other videos, of course, but we're going to do a few just to test it out. I particularly think that this one looks like a Christmas ball. And as we are now into mid-November, I am happy to start doing a few Christmas things here and there. So this is a charm, bunch of stuff that I bought last year, and I'm just using my snippers there to take the hoop off of the edge of that charm. And this is as easy as it gets. Be wary when you're doing the snippings like this that they will go pinging off in all directions, so please be very, very careful. The kit does not come with the clear UV resin, but I've always got it. and it's worth having. It is so worth having. And I want to put this down as my first base layer. Well, it's going to be, I'm doing it backwards. So we're going to be putting this in, and I'm going to be placing the charm. So we're working front to back. Yes, I think that's right. I think I'm quite right. So I'm using the little tool. I will differentiate between using this little flopsy silicone tool and one of my own silicone tools, just because I'm used to the feeling a little bit more of the other sort. These are nail art pieces. You can find them on Amazon. You can also get them from Temu. Now, they're not expensive. They cost anything from £3.99 from Amazon, and you know, they go a long way. And when you want to make stuff like this, especially, really cool stuff. And this is a specific Christmas one, and what's going in there at the moment is a bunch of little Christmassy coloured stars, and I think that's going to look lovely going all the way around that Christmas tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cure this up under that super cute, gorgeous little lamp. It is really cute. I've never had a little lamp this small. Look at him, he's so little. And that is having both front and back. That is important to remember. So let's break out the blue. Now, this isn't my first time playing with the hard type coloured UV from Let's Resin, because they have very kindly sent me their dark UV set a couple of months ago, and I've used it, and they are fantastic. You can use them for so many different projects. So, you know, it's well worth it. Even if the kit, you're not really into keyrings, it is so worth it. And don't be afraid to mix these colours in together either. So I've just added royal blue and blue, and just gave it a little swirl. And of course I am using my long neck lighter, which is really worth having. If you don't have one, get one. And for the back colour, I am going to put in white. Now, these colours are not opaque. Opaque meaning see-through. So opaque meaning opaque. I know what I mean. They're transparent. They're not opaque. That makes more sense. And with the UV coloured resins, of course, layers are your friend. Don't try filling up an entire mold just in the one colour. You're going to get issues with the curing. So make sure that you are doing it a bit at a time. But check that out. Isn't it pretty? I'm in love. And this is my first Christmas inspired piece of the year. Oh, check me out. Check me out. I quite like the idea of going into the rectangle shape next, and I'm going to be starting much the same as I did on the first one, but I have decided to add a little bit of glitter into this. So I'm just going to put some of the clear UV into my handy little cup there, and add in some of my favourite Diamond Frost glitter. This is a great glitter. It's I haven't been able to see it on Amazon for a little while, for a minute. It is quite light and it is lovely, but of course you can always use your super sparkles or your crushed crystal. There's always that option. So I'm just scooping that down into there, and it is important because I didn't really pay attention until I was doing this. We've got a little lip there coming right the way around the edge, so until I was doing it, I didn't realise. So make sure that you are filling those edges and those corners up, and look out for any bubbles that may form while you're doing this. And of course, once again, long neck lighter. And I think I forgot to say it when I put the tree in. For this one, I'm using a lovely little snowman charm. And watch now. I just sprayed it on the surface and just rubbed it around with my fingers, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. That will help with any potential bubbles on the front of the make. And of course, don't forget, I am also turning the pendant mold over, or keyring mold over, and I am doing both sides. Now I'm gonna do just the bottom of this one white for the snowman, and then we'll have a little play with the colours of the sky. It is probably worth noting as well that with that little UV light that they very kindly supplied us with as well in that kit, there are 3 options of the amount of time for your light. So it's 60 seconds, 80, and then 1 something, I can't remember. Let's go something crazy with this sky. I have gone pink, and now I'm going purple, and then I'm going to go blue, and we're going to swirl it in. I was thinking of like a dusky type of sky, and I think it's going to look absolutely beautiful, because like I said, don't be afraid to mix them up a little bit. Have a play, enjoy it. You know, that is what they're for. And of course, as I say, just make sure that you are getting that resin, that UV resin, in all the areas, because there is a little bit of a lip with these. See there where that little tool can go right the way around and under. So make sure you're doing that. Take that little bit of time. It's not going to hurt anyone, is it? So take a couple of moments just to do that, and of course use your long net lighter. Isopropyl alcohol is fine to use as well, but I do think that spraying too much of it, which we can all be guilty of, can be a little bit troublesome. So for the final layer on this keyring, I'm just coming back in with the blue because, well, the white is pretty opaque. I gotta be honest, the white is pretty opaque, but all the other colours, even the black, is a little bit translucent. So putting that blue on the back is really gonna help the other colour, the pink and the purple. But check this out. Oh my goodness. I had to turn the camera on and off again because it just would not, focus, but that is absolutely stunning. And I'd almost say that you could possibly use these as well as pendants. I really do think that you could, double up. They don't just have to be keyrings. So we have just had Remembrance Day in the UK. And as soon as I saw these particular flowers, I thought they look like a poppy. They look like poppies. So I'm using this tape. Now this tape is what was in the kit, and this is specifically for the jewellery making. And as you can see, I just tip over one edge of it just so that I can maneuver the tape around a little bit, and I'm just pressing down just to make absolutely sure that they are in place. With good UV tape as well, it doesn't tend to leave behind any sticky residue. So if you were going to use regular like packing tape or something, you will get a sticky residue afterwards. And of course, when you're applying heat to normal stickers or anything like that, the heat is going to affect it, either with the lighter or the UV light itself, so be wary of that. So I've used black for the centres, and with this bottom one I'm going to go for the red. I want to go for the traditional kind of poppy. First of all, I'm putting in the green into those leaves. The green is really lovely actually. I quite like the green in this range. Little bit these are little spaces, but what you could do if need be, you could always put a little bit on your mat, and then you could use your tool to transfer the little pieces into there. Now the red, This is my only complaint with the entire colour range, to be honest. The red is rather pinky. It is a pigment issue, and you get it. In general, red is a difficult one across the board. Even when it comes to to acrylic paints, you really need to have a highly pigmented colour, and it is quite hard to produce in this kind of range. So I've just added some coral red Let's resin just to the mix, just to give it that little extra bit of red. I really wanted this to look like a poppy. Now, my dad was he's still around. I'm still very privileged and lucky to still have my dad, but he did serve. He was a Royal Welsh Fusilier, as were my uncles, and very, very proud. And until the last 2 years, where my dad's health has been too bad, my dad would give his time to selling poppies for the Poppy Appeal here in the UK, and I think he will absolutely love these, and I'm going to be giving them to him. So thank you, Let's Resin. And of course, purple. The purple poppies are for the animals. It's to remember all those animals that basically served and have served and are serving during, for the forces, basically. And of course, the Poppy Appeal helps our soldiers. It really does. And, it's a charity organisation. And my dad's very proud, and he wears his poppies with pride all year round. It doesn't just have to be for Remembrance Sunday and such as that. So I think these are going to be looking absolutely wonderful. I'm pretty sure that my mum might try and swipe it to go on her handbag, but maybe if I've done one and if I've done 2 of them, maybe they'll share. You never know. But I'm really, really pleased with these. And like I said, the red is my only... I wish it was a bit more red and less of the pink. And with the purple poppy for the animals, I decided to use the purple and the orchid, and those colours are really beautiful. You can see the difference in them, which is quite nice. So the purple is a bit more purple. So there we go, and under the lamp it goes. And these can come off now. And I know my camera is making this look a little bit pink, but I promise you that it is purple. It is definitely purple. And off comes this other poppy. Now, I did have a little bit of leakage, and that's my fault. That is my own fault, but it simply comes off. Now, I'm just using the tweezers, and if the tweezers hadn't have worked, I would have just only needed to get my snippers, which I used for my charms, and they would have worked absolutely perfectly. But I was able to pull it off with the tweezers and check them out, and they gorgeous. And I'm really looking forward to giving these to my dad, and I'm going to be very entertained when my mum does nick them off him, because she will. So with this flower, I thought, you know what, let's put every single colour into it. It can be like it's a rainbow flower, and even black can be part of it, so there we go. So all the colours are going in, the brown, the black, all of them. There aren't as many of these colours offered in the set that will cover every, I can't have a individual colour for every petal. So that's fine. As I come around, I'll just repeat a few of them, and that is all good and hip and groovy. And we'll do a little bit of a little mix up in the middle, I think, just to show you again how lovely it is to mix these colours together just a little bit. I do particularly like the blue. I think the blue is really, really lovely, and I'm quite taken with the purple and the orchid as well. So really, really enjoying using this, and I have to be fair, I it's not always my bag. It's you know, this type of thing. But I was really relaxed actually doing it, and my only complaint, well, I say only the red, the thing with the red, gold. I don't like gold. I don't know if it's because it looks tacky to me. I'm not sure. I'm a silver girl. I really like silver, and basically everybody I know will say, oh, silver. You know, I like white gold myself, platinum. But these aren't tacky, honestly. They are heavyweight. They are solid. But it's just the colour. So Let's Resin, I would suggest that you potentially have the option, that like with things on boxes, you could have a little tick box on there, and you could choose to have silver or gold or even a mixture. So yeah, I hadn't pushed that down quite enough, so I was getting a little bit of escaping there, but I sort it out quickly. I'm gonna give it a little burst with the long neck lighter, pop it under the lamp, and then carry on as I was. So yeah, that is my main thing with all of it, because the red is the red type thing, and you could see that it is an easy fix if you particularly are precious about it being more of a true red. So where it comes to it is that I'm just not a fan of gold, but I'm not going to be really using the flower frame. I'll be giving these away. As I said, the poppies I'm going to be giving to my dad, and any of the other ones I make, I will be giving away as gifts for Christmas, in amongst little stocking fillers and stuff like that. So it's not a case of needing to be my personal taste. Aren't these colours lovely? They're really, really lovely. And I'm going to just top up where I had that little bit of loss underneath, and as you can see, where it did leak a little bit, it's on the outside of the keyring, but it will come away. All I need to do is use those snippers, and it will definitely come off, and it'll come away. And it's that simple, and this tool is actually pretty useful. It is a little bit soft, so it took me a little bit getting used to, because I am used to using the more solid tools, the silicone tools. I usually use the silicone cosmetic sticks, which are a little bit firmer in hand. But if you're just starting out, this is absolutely fine. It is handy, and I will be using it for other projects for definite. It's too handy a little thing to have. So with the middle of this flower, I am going for blue and royal blue. I think it's royal blue, I might be wrong, and also that orchid, and just getting rid of that bubble. Boop. And I'm just going to give it a little swirl, just a little play in there. And isn't that fab? I really like that. And under it goes, and I am giving them the full cure, and they are having both sides. How pretty is this? I'm really impressed. and I know I said I don't like the gold frame things, but it works with these, and I think they look really, really lovely. And just using my snippers, just like I said, because that was my fault. I didn't make sure it was securely stuck down. But even the black is lovely in there, and there's brown too, so can't go wrong for them, can you? Really very pretty. I really like that rainbow that rainbow flower. So I'm going to do these. These are my last ones I'm going to do today. These are heart ones, but honestly, I think that these could pass for pendants. So, do with them as you wish. You could carry on making them as key rings, or you could make them as pendants, in my opinion. So that's just a little charm that I had in my stash. And let's face it, if you are getting into this, you're probably already a kind of a crafter, and I bet you've got all this kind of stuff stashed away. And if you don't, I bet you can just get it really easily, because it's really great fun to implement these type of things into your makes. So a little bit of the clear UV first, and then I'm going to be popping in that little musical piece down the wrong way round, basically, because I wanted to cover. Yeah, I know what I mean. I always get confused on how to explain that part, but I know you know what I mean. You know. If you know, you know. Yes, you know. Little spray of some isopropyl alcohol. Once again, that is just to discourage any bubbles from forming, because it is quite detailed, this one. Doesn't quite fit long ways, but I quite like it, looking like a, going in a sideways fashion. And I'm going to put in some of the clear UV in this one also. And I happen to have out, because if is this in the future or is in the past? I can't remember. But I've had these space charms out, because I've made a moon and stars wind chime for my daughter. And I hadn't put them away yet. And I thought, oh, absolutely perfect. I could put some of these beautiful charms into this make, because my daughter, as I've said, loves space. So I'm making this one up, and this one I'm going to be putting into her stocking for Christmas. So I think she'll like that to put with her front door key. So I've taken out by the way, the silver version of this like Saturn planet, I made into earrings for her. So, and she wears them all the time. She keeps them in. So I think that's kind of cool that that's mixed in as well. So a little star, just the solid star, and once again a little spray of isopropyl alcohol. And those tweezers are useful. Tweezers are always going to be useful when you work with resin. They're very useful. So just giving that again a little go with the long neck lighter, and it's always worth checking and making sure there's no little stinky bubbles hiding in any of the corners or curves. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play with the colours. And do you know what? I should have done this to start with, using the lollipop stick and just making sure that that's properly down there. They shouldn't go anywhere anyway, because I've put that coat of the clear UV. So with this, I want to do a bit of a mixture. So I've got black, and I'm going to go in with some blue, just around there like this. And I think I might go for pink. That's purple. Of course it is. It's purple. And I think I might add royal blue. It might be the royal blue, yes. And then give that a little swirly whirly after I've got rid of those bubbles. I'm doing the swirly whirly first this time, so that's just to annoy myself. This was done this morning, and it's been a day. How are you anyway? How's your day going? Are you good? Are you cool, hip and groovy? Or are you just meh? I'm a bit meh. I'm tired. But yeah, so let's go for colours that you wouldn't usually use. So I've gone for orange, I've gone for orchid, and white. Why not? Let's see what happens. I didn't want to go massively orange because of the colour of the charm. So just a bit, and then giving it a cool little swirl, a little play. I like the idea it's like bursting, so that's why I like the little bit of white in the middle. So bubbles, be gone. Be gone with you, bubbles. We don't like you. Not on makes like this anyway. So under the light it goes again. And the gloves are off, which means I'm done now with the resin. And how awesome are these? see what I mean by they don't necessarily need to be key rings. They could pass brilliant as a pendant. But I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I'm so chuffed with this one. How stunning is that? I do wish that I'd remembered to add a little bit of glitter though. That would have been really, really cool. But how gorgeous. So sweet. So there we are. These are all made up. Well, this isn't the hard part. This is the fun part. That was the fun part. This is the hard part. I never told a fib to you guys. I do not like applying the hardware part. But here we are, and it needs to be done. But I tell you something, these pieces are solid. Let's Resin have not skirted around this. The quality is amazing. It really is. I've got my Cal 9 tails. They're not gold topped, but I will colour them later with my chrome marker. So I'm going to show you doing a few. I'm not going to show you every single one of them because, to be perfectly honest with you, these are so solid. I really struggled. I do end up having to switch hands over, as you'll see in a minute. It was really solid to try and move. Now, it may be easy for regular people, but I get hurty hands. So, with the stuff I've got going on. So I did find it a little bit difficult, but they are solid and that's what you want. And the quality is there. It's lovely to feel really good quality. And when you get starter kits, and I'm not going to name names, but sometimes you do get starter kits, and then when you get them, they're quite flimsy, and you're like, you've been on Temu. These are like cheap and cheerful that you put in here. So I think it is great that they've definitely thought about this. Absolutely thought about this. And it is great to have such high quality hardware within a set, because that is where many companies and organisations fail quite often. These ones, because I used the silver charms, I didn't want to use that gold. I think it would look a little bit weird. And the tassels on the key rings, on the gold ones, I do actually colour. You'll see in the end pictures that I have used my Let's Resin chrome mirror markers with the gold, and it looks so much better. So these ones, I have continued to make these into the key rings because it is the keyring kit and I wanted to show that off to you guys. But honestly, I think these would be absolutely beautiful pendants, really. And, because you can get charms in so many different kind of styles. You could really make a personal gift out of these. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much, Let's Resin, for sending this kit. And I must say, I do recommend it. I really do think that if you are new to resin or want to get into UV resin, it's worth it just to get yourself started and to give you the idea of how it all works. Thank you for watching. Love you and stay weird.
Stay weird, stay wild, no need to fear. She molds her dreams with resin and clay. Whimsical wonders brighten the day. Stay wonderfully weird, let your colors unfold. Frogs and dragons, stories untold. Crocodiles dance in a resin sea. Stay weird, stay wild, stay beautifully free. She paints the night with the dragon's flame. In her hands the world's never the same. Frogs in hats and crocodiles grin, each creation a spark dreams begin. Stay wonderfully weird, let your colors unfold. Frogs and dragons, stories untold. Crocodiles dance in a resin sea. Stay